Hello, hello, hello. We're live. Hey, Becca.
Hey, how is it going? It's morning time here, but I know you've already been through most of your day today so far.
Yeah, I like it when it changes month because then it's like I'm in a whole other month to you. Becca
Yeah.
Rich is in the community. I'm so excited. I love having you here. You've been such an inspiration and a support and a friend to Confidence Through Cabaret since the beginning. You've shared with us a masterclass. We've done Clubhouse together. We've done lives. We did Becca Week. Becca is the holistic time coach. And that is so exciting. I mean, I'm somebody who did time management courses way back in the days, but while we used paper and like tabs. Right. So when I found out about holistic time management from you, it completely threw time on its head.
Yes. Yeah, that's, like, my whole mission is just to, like, throw time management and productivity conversation on its head. That's, like, my mission in life.
That's amazing. So for those, because we have lots of new people in the community since we've been chatting and live and stuff, and since you, me, and Ryan used to hang out. So who is just away inundated with recording a new album, which is really exciting. So
Woohoo.
you and me today. So okay,
Good.
so for anybody who hasn't yet, we got our coffee. For anybody who hasn't met you or doesn't know about your work, I would love it if you would share that because I really think that goes a long way instead of just like posting and like who's Becca and what's the deal, but like tell us about your work.
Yeah. So, in the podcast and in the masterclass, I share more details about like my personal journey with hustle culture and time and all of that stuff. But the work that I do with my clients is really on a holistic level, right? So we approach time and time management and productivity on a holistic level, which really just means from a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual place. And so it's not just about like organizing and planning and making your calendar color coded that you can never follow. It's actually healing the overwhelm and healing the perfectionism and the urgency and the time scarcity from a deeper, more grounded and rooted place. And so you can actually get more done. You can, or get all the things that you want done. It's not about more, right? It's about just getting what you want done and yeah, just having time for everything that's important to you. Obviously, prioritization is a strategy of time management, and so prioritizing your joy is really what I help people do.
And can I just say, because I've spoken to Becca a lot about time, that includes if you choose, you can binge watch on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I watch Netflix so much, like, I'm watching Downton Abbey right now, and I've watched, like, the first 3 seasons in, like, 2 weeks or something like that. I work 3 days a week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are, like, my work days, and then obviously we're business owners, so if I'm, like, inspired or creative or whatever, I let myself work in the non-work days, but I don't have any calls, I don't have any lives, I don't have, like, anything scheduled. I just have 4 days that are completely open for me to choose what I do with them, and so that's, like, kind of part of the conversation is, like, creating a schedule, right, that actually feels good to you, and that is the schedule that just, like, brings me so much joy. So that's what I help people create.
Okay, so the first thing that came to my head, and we get on to what you've been doing and what you've got putting out there now, but the first thing that came to my head there was like, but how do you keep up with social media for 4 days a week? I know that's not a priority of yours, but even still, like, don't you have to keep up, or do you have somebody who does it for you? Now, like now, I'm picturing that you have this huge team, and you don't have to do any of that, and I know that's not true. So where?
No. So I actually, this summer, so I'm a digital nomad and I chose to take this summer basically off of the content hamster wheel. I was doing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday post and like the YouTube video and the blog and like all that stuff. And I was just burnt out from it. And I was like, I need to practice what I'm preaching when it comes to social media and content. So, in June, I was like, "I'm done with all of that." My VA that I was, like, getting help around content just because obviously getting help is necessary, um, she got a full-time job and, like, left sort of the VA space, and so I was like, it's kind of, like, perfect timing for me to take off social media, and so I just really haven't gone back. I'm really posting again when I feel like it. I have a strategy, I have, like, all of the things. I just am not, like, it doesn't own me anymore. I'm not on the hamster wheel, and that has been really cool to take back my time and joy when it comes to content and social media.
Okay, but anybody who's a social media guru, and I am not, right? Like, I don't even have time for my Facebook homepage, which I do not understand anyway. But well, no, because if it's my homepage, why is it about other people? It's my home. It's just wrong. So it annoys me. So I'll just ignore it and pretend it's not there. Also don't know how to do Instagram reels, so just doing them. So, but anybody who is a social media, because I want to, but anybody who is a social media guru would say you have to have a strategy, you have to be posting at least twice a day, you have to be like, and yet you don't. So how come?
I again, like, this comes back to core values, something that we talked about in the
Mhm.
master class, and, like, it's just not one of my core values, and it's also really interesting whenever I do a group program or one-on-one coaching or anything with my community, with my people, like, and we do a core values exercise or the things that are important to us, social media and being on technology is never I've not once come across someone that has put it on there, and so why do we spend 4 hours a day on it?
I
So,
know.
it's like it's a for me personally, I just had to really realign with my core values, again, practice what I'm preaching, but also, like, it has made my life a lot better, so that's all that's important to me. Like, the algorithm can suck it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think then you get to say what you really do want to say and not just kind of like, oh crap, I got to fill a post.
Right, yeah, and yeah, so I was in Yellowstone this summer, I'm really close to Yellowstone, and I was on this, like, trip, and, Yellowstone is a huge park. I don't know if anyone listening or watching the replay has ever been there, but, it's a huge park, and you can literally drive. It's probably from, like, one end to the other, like, 3-hour drive, and so it's a huge, like, area, and a lot of folks, when they go to Yellowstone or go on vacation or whatever, like, if you do this, I'm not calling you out, but, like, you it's like quantity over quality, right? You wanna see everything, and so you stay in the car all day driving through Yellowstone, and you don't actually get out there and into nature, the whole point of going. And so this trip that I went on this summer, I literally didn't leave my campground, basically. We just hiked. We didn't drive. We literally just went straight to the campground, like, and hiked from the campground. And this quality over quantity was so prevalent, this thought process around quality over quantity, um, really solidified in that trip, because I got to, like, sit on the beach by myself for 2 hours and just, like, sing and laugh and, like, really feel being there, like, I was present in that place and in that moment in my life, and yeah, I think social media applies to this, like, quality over quantity. You can be yourself, you can attract your clients, you can grow your business to whatever capacity you want on your terms. And that's something I will stand behind all day for the rest of my life.
I love this. I love, love, love this. I actually just did this exercise this morning because I know what we're going to talk about and what you're going to share now. Um, and and I was thinking about it and I thought, how much time do I actually want to work? So my thing with social media is I keep up little and often throughout the day. Because if I don't, and I get to the end of the day and I've got 100 things to read where they've mentioned me or tagged me or something, and I do want to reply to everybody, but it's just overwhelmed. And sometimes I'll leave it for a couple of days and then it will take hours. So I like the little and often rule because then it's just never a big deal. But
Yeah.
it never goes away and you can never fully be present because you're always, kind of it's in your eye line. Yeah, exactly. And that's a huge problem. And what I love most about your work is the alignment with values. and how you choose to spend your time. And
Yeah.
whether that's watching Netflix or being in nature or both, you get to choose that based
Yeah.
on your own values. And I think that's really so beautiful because very often when we start managing time, it manages us, and then we don't really. And then there's this whole control is an illusion. And if you didn't know that, you learned it in 2020. So the whole thing, the whole thing is just this hamster wheel, as you say.
Yep.
Okay, so I was just doing this because I was reading through your materials, and I've posted the link a couple times. I will post it again throughout the week because I'm such a believer in your work. Um, so I set up my how many hours do I want to work, and now you've just added something because every time I talk to you, you just never. I like every time I'm like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. I'm going to do that now. So I had decided that I want to work 4 days a week, and I want to work 11 in the morning because I'm not very good in the mornings, and I want to work into the early evening because I like working full time. I like what I do, and that's great.
Yeah.
But now you just sort of given me permission for like if something inspires me, then I can go and play with it, and I love that because it's so much more
Yeah.
freedom. Then it feels like a choice instead of a have to.
Yes, and that's like, it all really comes back to your relationship with yourself. Like, time management is your relationship to self. It's your relationship to what's important to you and how you make that happen. It's literally integrity. That's what I always come back to is like, are your actions aligned with your values and what's important to you? And, as entrepreneurs, our craft is important to us. And so a lot of folks will be like, you know, set that rigid schedule, and then if you, like, have ideas on the weekend, you're not allowed to work. And so it all comes back to trust, it all comes back to your relationship to self, like, that's, how the inner peace that we're all craving becomes real. It's not a nothing is have to in my life and in my clients' lives. Like, everything is choice and permission and freedom and, yeah, like, from a deep caring place, kindness place inside of us, and that is the work that I do, like, literally.
You- That's just beautiful. Okay, now you have a new. You've just launched a new product. Tell us.
Yeah, so it's actually a free resource that will lead to a product coming soon. So the product isn't out yet, but, I wanna ask you, Heather, like, have you ever gotten frustrated or annoyed of seeing the same 5 time management tools, like, tips out there over and over and over again, and you're like, "I don't wanna use these things, like, I need something different."
Well, what's even worse is I used to train the people to use those 5 things, right?
Yeah.
And then and then people used to get pissed off with me.
Right, yeah, and so, like, a lot of folks, solopreneurs like myself, like, I would get really frustrated, I would be like, "I can't delegate, like, I don't have the money or the capacity to delegate to other folks right now," and of course, there's limiting beliefs in a lot of these things, but, like, the same 5 time management tips, productivity tips are just, like, spewed all over the internet, and I was like, "We need," like, all my clients, myself included, we were like, "We need something that actually helps us align our intention with how we actually spend our time, right? That help us not be on social media all the time, that help us feel less guilty when we want to do something that we want to do. And so this new resource, it's called the Better Time Management Tool Guide, and it is a guide, like literally 2 9-minute videos, and it's a guide that helps people first understand why the same 5 time management tips that you see everywhere don't actually help you feel less overwhelmed or stressed out and get all of your things done. They don't help you manage your time better. Um, Not anymore. Like, we're humans. We need things that actually make us feel human, right? And so the first video will kind of walk you through that, and then the second video will help you, it'll give you the 5 pieces of, like, foundational pieces of information that you need to find the time management tools that actually help you get things done, meet you where you are, and actually spend your time how you want to. That's, like, again, what I help people do is actually spend their time how they wanna spend it. Um, So yeah, it's a free resource. Again, you can sign up on the link that Heather posts this week. And
Mm.
yeah, I just want to get it out there and share it with people on like, releasing some of that shame and guilt that we have around not being able to spend our time how we want to and actually get the information and tools that we need to do that. And so, yeah, it's a free guide, and it'll lead up to when it's ready in late October, something called the Time Library. And the Time Library is going to have over 100 holistic time management tools that help you prioritize, that help you focus, that help you procrastinate less, that help you just spend your time how you want to spend it. And so that will be coming out like in a month or something when it gets there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I love that you're like, when it gets there, right? Because if you were, a lot of business coaches are in this community and they'd be like, no, no, you need a date. It needs to say 3rd of November or whatever, because there's an accountability. And I get that deadlines are meant to keep us on track. But when you're coming from a place of heartfelt and creativity, it's when it strikes you.
Right, and I'm a manifesting generator. If anyone is into human design, that's, one of the things that, I help people with is, like, if they like astrology, if they like human design, if they like Myers-Briggs, if they like whatever personality thing that helps you get to know yourself, Enneagram. I like human design a lot when it comes to time management, and manifesting generators are people who um, like lots of options, a lot of like um, follow responses, right? Where we respond. Our best strategy is to respond to the information that we're getting, if, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, I respond to what people say, and then I, act, and that is how I am best using my time and energy. And that's been a practice in itself. And yeah, it's great.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So from the guide, then presumably you'll let everybody know when the next product is coming out, or when the program is coming out, and you'll know what that is and what that does and looks like and all of those things. And I would
Yeah,
love
it's
if
all
you
in
would
there.
come back and share that with us as well. And then anybody who misses this round for the free guide can then pick that up and get involved and work with you.
Exactly, yeah, and, so at in the guide, there's, like, a link to sign up for the interest list, so if you are interested in the time library, getting all of those holistic tools to meet you where you are and spend your time how you want to, the link for the interest thing is in there.
Yes. Great. I will post that again into these notes. I'll be posting it all week. We are going to be talking about time management because it is important. And I said it before, if 2020 taught us anything, it's that we never had the control we thought we were holding on to.
Yeah.
So, it's exciting that you're launching it at this time.
Yeah, and, with the whole control thing, just like a piece of my thought process around control, like, yes, and we do have control in a certain regard, right? We don't have control over the big picture, and that is why, when it comes to time management in my world, it's your relationship to yourself, and when you have a strong, healthy relationship with yourself, your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings, you can spend your time how you want. You trust yourself to spend your time in the best way possible. And you know, there is control in some way, shape, or form about how you spend your minutes. But then we also have to live in the world with lots of things out of our control, and that's why when you flow with time, it's a lot easier when you have a strong relationship to yourself, the peace. It's everything just becomes a lot easier. So, yeah, that's sort of just work on your relationship to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And if you get hold of Becca's guide, then you can get some tips and some pointers. Share in the comments about what your favorite thing is. Again, I'll be talking about this all week because I think it's a great topic and I love your work. thank you for coming and introducing it to us,
Yeah.
so that it makes sense. So that when people read the post, they're not just like, "What is this spam?" But they actually go kind of go, "Oh, yeah, I remember because Becca said that thing, and I like that." And then we can get into a dialogue about how people are prioritizing their time. Because I bet there's an awful lot of people who have online businesses in this community or wherever you're on YouTube or on all over the place right now. So I bet there's a lot of people who've been told that they have to do these, post 3 times and do this and do that and all these schedules. So get in touch and then let's share what your favorite parts are and what impact it
Yeah.
has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and tag me in it. Like, I'm in the group, so please, if you have any questions or thoughts, like, share them with me. I'm all ears, and I would love to chat with you if you, wanna chat more about anything related.
amazing. Thank you again, Becca, for coming and introducing your toolkit, and thank you
Yeah.
for being such a great friend to the community. We've just we I'm just so happy that I know you. I'm just so pleased. Thank you.
Thank you, and if you listen to our podcast, my stage name is Isabella Kronos,
Yes, it is.
and, like, I love it, so thank you for the
I
stage name.
I love, love, love it, right? And I talk about that quite often actually, because that was one of those moments where it was just like the three of us were like, what about like a Greek name? Ooh, I have Greek connections. And then it just kind of came out. It was so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, that's co-creation at its finest.
For sure. For sure. Yes. And one
Yes.
of these days, then you need to come to a cabaret show with Ryan and I because that just needs to happen.
Yeah, my sister's studying abroad in London, actually, so I'm like, "I'm gonna go hang."
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah,
You'll be the first to know.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. And then we'll take you out.
Yes, I would love
And then
that.
and then you can, I mean, maybe you wanna debut Isabella Kronos over here.
Oh
I
god.
don't know. Maybe turns out that it's a European connection. Who knows?
Yes, I'm not gonna be known as Becca in England, I'm gonna be known as Isabella Kronos.
Absolutely. I think you should. I think you should own it. I think we should all own our stage name. I think we should all own that fierceness and that confidence and that strength and all of those things. I love that for
Yeah.
you.
And especially when it comes to time, right? Like, be confident in what you wanna spend your time on. Like, that's why I love our collaborations and our connection is, like, you have to be confident in your priorities and what's important to you in order to make them happen and spend your time how you want to, and so, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no more guilty secrets about Netflix. You get to own that.
own it and own that you hate social media.
Yes, yes, amazing. I love this. Thank you so much, Becca. We will speak to you really soon.
Alright, bye, Heather.
Bye. Bye, everyone.